Connected speech is another very, very important pronunciation features because most non-native speakers don't use connected speech. It's something that native speakers do all the time. We use connected speech as a way of making it easier for us to pronounce words. Our tongue doesn't have to move as much. It allows us to be a little bit lazy when it comes to pronunciation. So connected speech is something that we use all the time. And it's something that I highly, highly encourage students to start practicing because it is going to make a difference for your pronunciation score. And also, it can reflect on your fluency and coherence score because if you've got too many breaks in the sentences because you're not linking your words, then it can be a little bit harder to follow because it's too choppy, it's too broken. All right, there are a couple of different ways that we use connected speech. And the first one that we're going to look at is consonant to vowel linking. So it's linking of sounds. Now, when the first word ends with a consonant sound, and it's not about the spelling, it's about the last sound that you hear in the word. So is the last sound that you hear a consonant sound? And then the second word begins with a vowel sound. We're going to link them together. So it will sound like one continuous sound rather than two individual words. Okay, so let's have a look at these examples. My boss is a generous man. Now we've got here, if you look, you've got the word boss. The last sound that we hear in the word boss is an S. It's a consonant. And the next word starts with an I. It's a vowel, is. So we're going to put those two together. And also, if you look at the word is, it ends in a consonant, and the next word is a vowel. So we're actually going to put all of those three words together, and it's going to sound like one word. So my boss is a, boss is a, boss is a. I'm not going to say my boss is a, no, boss is a. My boss is a generous man. My boss is a generous man. My boss is a generous man. I went on holiday to Spain a week ago. You can see here, you have the word went and on, went on, went on. I'm going to pronounce it like it's one word, went on. Holiday to Spain, 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 oh, Spainer, Spainer. Week ago, week ago, week ago. So let's say the sentence together. I went on a holiday to Spain a week ago. I went on a holiday to Spain a week ago. Okay, went on a, Spainer, week ago. I went on a holiday to Spain a week ago. This afternoon, this afternoon, this afternoon, this afternoon. I'll see you this afternoon. I want an ice cream. Want an. And if we look, we've got what comes after an. The next word starts with a vowel, ice cream. So want an ice, want an ice. I want an ice cream. I want an ice cream. I'm not going to say I want an ice cream. Can you see how broken that is? It's really choppy. I want an ice cream. No, I want an ice cream. Want an ice cream. I want an ice cream. I want an ice cream. A way that you can practice this linking of sounds is to get anything that's written. If you print something off the internet, an article, anything, or a book that you have, use some little linking lines like a little smile to connect the last word, the consonant, and then the first word vowel. So in the first example, boss is, just put a little smile underneath the S and the I, boss is. And that way you can practice while you're reading using this connected speech, the linking of the sounds together. Okay, so that's a really good way to practice. Now, another feature of connected speech is sound twinning, or the official word is germination. That is when you have the first word ends in a consonant sound, and the following word begins with the same consonant sound. We aren't going to produce two of the same sounds. We will only produce one. So again, we're going to link the two words together and only have one consonant sound. If we have a look at the examples, I'm a bit tired. I've got bit ends with a T, tired starts with a T. Instead of me saying two separate T sounds, I'm a bit tired. No, I just want to use one. I'm a bit tired, bit tired, bit tired. I'm only producing one T sound. And you can see that I've also used the linking that we just looked at, I'm a. Instead of saying I'm a or I am a bit tired, no, I'm a bit tired. I'm a bit tired. We have a lot to do. Again, we've got lot and to, lot to, lot to, lot to. Just one T is being pronounced. And if we also look at the linking, we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do. Okay. Here's a nice idiom that we saw before. It's raining cats and dogs. It's not natural to be saying and dogs because you've got two Ds there. And also we're going to weaken this. We will see in the next part of the course where we're looking at weak forms. It's raining cats and dogs. It's raining cats and dogs. I'm not saying cats and dogs, cats and dogs, cats and dogs. And the catsan can be one. Catsan. I didn't mark it up there to see if you would recognize it. So cats and dogs. She's slept for 3 hours. She's, now remember we're using the contraction here. We don't want to say she has slept for 3 hours. No, she's slept. She's slept. It's like I'm giving one long extended S sound. She's slept. She's slept. She slept for 3 hours. All right, another feature is intrusion. Now, intrusion means when an additional sound intrudes, it inserts itself between the other sounds. It doesn't actually exist there in the spelling, but we insert these slight, they're not really strong sounds, but they're slight sounds just to help us. And it's often that we will produce this sort of the J, which is in phonetics, the Y sound, or a W or an R. So have a look at the examples. He asked for help. He asked for help. He. It's like a Y sound. He asked for help. He asked for help. Let's go out. Let's go out. That sounds like there's a W between the go and the out. Let's go out. Go out. Go out. Law and order. Now here we've got the R. Law and order. Law and order. Law and order. Law and order. There's a slight R between the W and the A. The media are to blame. The media are to blame. The media are, you can see that you can hopefully hear there's a slight R sound there. The media are to blame. The media are to blame. This one takes a lot of practice, and you really do need to be listening a lot in order to pick this intrusion up. All right, another feature of connected speech is elision, which is disappearing sounds. Now, elision is where we weaken our pronunciation of sounds so that they disappear. We don't actually hear them in the pronunciation. And some common deletions are a syllable containing the unstressed schwa. So, for example, interest becomes interest. Interest, interest. Similar becomes similar. Similar, similar. Library becomes library. Library. Different becomes different. Different, different. Tonight becomes tonight. Tonight. Not tonight, not tonight, but tonight. Tonight. There's no vowel sound there. So this is a regular thing that we do while we're speaking. Also, another common deletion of sounds is with consonants. So it's when the T and the D, they completely disappear, especially when they're common in a consonant cluster, which means that there's surrounding the T or the D are consonants, not vowels. So if we have a look at the example here of Christmas, we don't say Christmas. No, we don't say Christmas. It's Christmas. The T is lost. Christmas. And the same as sandwich. Some people might say sandwich, but most people will say sandwich. Sandwich. The D is lost because it's in between the two consonants. So that is another feature. Now, this type of feature comes with practice, and certainly students who are aiming for a higher score overall in speaking and a higher score in pronunciation, you should be aware of these different types of pronunciation features, because they will help you. If you can master them, if you can start using them, they will help you increase your pronunciation score.